can be confusing, but we'll just stick to integers and doubles, or that's whole numbers and decimal numbers, so that we can see how casting works. So casting means like if you're working with integer, your variable is integer, but then now you want to work with double, then you want to see like, well, what are the rules for converting that piece? And or you might be working with a double, and then like you want to go back to working with integers, so then you want to see like what happens in code or in C++ when you do that, right? Python, it didn't care. Like Python, like whatever values you gave it, like it was gonna work with it. But C++ is not that friendly. It'll work with them, but we have to be aware of some issues that we can encounter. So let me go here. Okay, and we'll go over this gotchas with some examples, right? So we'll say double value return function. We name it convert to double, int years, and double interest rate parameter. Okay, so meaning like years and then double rate. So I mean, from here we can assume that we will probably do some arithmetic.
I don't think you're sharing screen right now. Are you sharing screen?
Let me see. No, I thought I had shared it, but I guess I didn't click OK. So yeah. So we create this function header, right? Like convert to double, and we wanna see what happens when we work with integers and doubles, like in multiplication problems or division problems. Like what's gonna happen? Like how does C++ work with these values? Will it convert both of them to integers, or will it convert it to double temporarily? We'll see. Okay, so go back to CPP, and we're like include casting, and then we go here. Okay, return the product of years times interest rate. Okay, so we can do that. We can simply say like return years times rate. Okay, so we can do that. Or if we want to like use intelligence to help us deal with like the data type, meaning how, I mean, like if we say result here, like remember auto, we're leaving the data type to C++. So by doing this, then we can get an understanding of what C++ will do with int and double, right? So if I hover over this, then notice the result will be a double, meaning a decimal value. So we can assume now that when this occurs, years, which is integer, will be temporarily converted to a double, and then the result is a double variable. So we can see that with the help of the auto keyword, right? So this is implicit casting on the fly while this operation or this statement is being executed right here. Then years will be, it'll be converted from whole number to decimal. If we have 5, it'll be 5.0, right? So, and then it'll do the multiplication, save the result as double, and we can go ahead and see that in a test case, right? So see here. Oh, not this file. Or not that one either. We're in examples expressions. Okay, so I can close this one. Okay, so we can copy this, use it, and then implicit data type casting. Here, like, this isn't required, like, but here we can put some explanation that'll help us, like, in the future. Like, we come back and we see the heading, we'll be like, oh, that's what we're doing. At runtime, while the program's running, right? We do not need this piece here. Let me go up here. I have some values that I use, but I need to bring up last year's example because I don't have the data memorized. So let me see here, fall. And I can go on my commits and then I can go to that example. So let me do that quickly. Okay, it's right here. Okay, so I used the values 10 and 0.5, so let me go ahead and do that. So here we set up the assertion and we're like, okay, we want require, and if we use convert to double with 10 and 0.5, then we expect 5.0. Oops. Double equal sign to compare, right? However, we need to make sure that we help C++ find our code, so we have to include casting.h. Once we do that, then C++ understands, hopefully, what we're talking about, right? So let me see here. Oh, not minus, equal. Okay. And we can click on CMake and then ex02 test, right click and select run in terminal. And we're green, so that's good. So notice we do get 2 doubles, right? So just to show that integers are converted to doubles at runtime in that convert to double code. And now we can go ahead and maybe just create a very simple example in main to use that piece. So we can go there and let me see, go to main. And we can use that function, right? So we know we need IOStream, so include IOStream. And we know we need include casting using character input and using character output cout. And now we can say auto result equals convert to double, and I guess we can capture some data, right? So we'll get some practice with variables. So we'll say rate equals 0 and then auto not rate, years, initializing the variables to some value. Rate equals 1.0, whatever value is there is going to be overwritten. So we'll say cout, enter years, get the value from the keyboard, put it in years. I mean, not, got ahead of myself. Character input, get the value, put it in years, right? And then C out, enter rate, character input into rate. Now we can plug in those values as function arguments. So we say years and rate. And finally, C out, value is the result. Very simple example, but hopefully gives you practice, or you see like the process, right? Code, test, and then use your code in main, right? Like right now, main's very small, but if you were working with a group of developers, you want to test. You want to code, test, and once your code's working on your local machine, then you would merge your code into the large code base of whatever program is being created, right? Gaming application, accounting application, whatever. So that's why it's important, like, to get into the habit of testing. I guarantee you, they won't let you commit code that doesn't have unit tests, right? Because then that creates more work in the long run. So we go here and run in terminal. Years 10.5, right? Value is what did it say? 5, right? So good enough. And now I can commit this as one example. We'll say you can convert any data type with explicitly with code, with C++ code, but I don't get into those topics because usually it gets complicated, and like I think it, like if I just show you like what happens with them, and then if you work with C++, then you can figure that out. I don't want to waste time with that, so let me commit here, yes, and push it. Okay, so this is convert to double. Okay, I did post all the lectures from last week, right? From